Freak Nation, second hour Speed Freaks on MAV TV and, of course, the Freak Radio Network. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Congratulations to Christopher Bell as he won the rain, lightning, delayed, canceled, postponed. I'm out of here. Coke 600. The pomp and circumstance. Okay, reset. Second hour Freak Nation coming up.
Wow.
We have Austin Cindric, NASCAR Cup Series pilot. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. Also, Frederick Osbo, the winningest Formula Drift driver on the planet. He'll be here. Three-time FD champion, by the way. He'll be here this hour. And Graham Rahal will be joining us this hour. Last hour, we had your Indy 500 winner, Joseph Newgarden. He was in here. Will Power, Alexander Rossi, talking about that fantastic finish where Pato O'Ward got out just a little bit too early. Joseph Newgarden took advantage of that not rookie mistake and won himself his back-to-back Indy 500s. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, the website speedfreaks.tv. And something funny that we did the first hour, we didn't say a damn thing about Kyle Larson when he was the most epic story going into this race. It was minutes up into the start of the 500 that is Kyle Larson going to race? Is he going to go? What's going on? He was just the epitome of motorsports for anybody, even people outside of motorsports. Is Kyle Larson? Is he going to run? Is he not going to run? Rain delay, 4 hours. And we didn't say a damn thing about it the first hour until Richie texted us.
4 hour rain delay. We only had a 1 hour delay in getting him on the show. We're better off than IndyCar.
And he did a damn good job today, too. Had he not been busted for speeding in pit lane, who knows where today could have gone for him. But he'll be back next year. So remember, it's a 2-year deal. It's a 2-year deal. And he was asked if he's coming back. Oh, hi, balloons. He was asked if he's coming back next year. And he said, I really would like to come back. So we shall see where that all plays out. Talking about the Indy 500, of course, and doing the double again.
Richie, you and Stad had a chance to watch the majority of the race from your couch or whatever the hell you were watching it from. I was there at the race, outdoors with a 10-year-old, enjoying ourselves. Crasher, you were doing the same dang thing by yourself there at the track. What was a lot of the commentary from Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe, and Lee Diffie about how well Kyle Larson was doing up until that penalty and had to drive through the pits?
Go ahead, Sam. I'll let you take it.
Well, they were praising him because he did a good job. Whoever was in his ear, he started off the first restart that came early. Apparently, he grabbed the wrong gear, spun some tires. 11 cars got around him before he got straightened out. And
I wondered what happened there. Okay.
The front, and he stayed back in the back. Reminded me of the Kurt Busch race a few years ago. And they were kind of talking the same thing. Every time they would mention Kyle Larson, they were saying he's learning a lot. He's having a problem on the restarts, which he was. And they were waiting for something to happen, and he made the mistake. And anybody can make a mistake of speeding on pit row, and he got dinged for it. In fact, I thought when we were talking to Will Power earlier, what took out Will Power, he got a little high on the track, got in some marbles and spun and was out of the race. I thought that was going to happen to Larson, but Larson had more discipline I gave him credit for, and he stayed in the back. He stayed in the top 10, like 8 to 11, most of the race, and that's where the reporters, the announcers, kept talking about him. He's learning, and he needs to get to the end so that he could take this away with him.
Yeah, he's a very good study, a very good student of the sport, and how he could just ingest the information that his team was giving him and then immediately apply it and then adjust it as necessary. Yeah, he is one of the great drivers out there.
Richie?
Yeah, I thought Kyle did great, and I think it was unfortunate. It did take a little bit out of steam out of the last 50 or so laps of the race when he wasn't racing up front. But with that said, the end of the race was still terrific, and yeah, I really want to see Kyle do it again. I cannot wait to see him try it again after what he learned. He was probably going to finish in the top 5 if he ended up racing all 200 laps and up front, if he didn't speed on pit road there. And I think we should give him enough kudos. Not very many drivers have, like him, going cross sports, have finished all 500 miles on the lead lap of the Indianapolis 500, like he did today, despite making the mistakes that he did. And that was really impressive. Heck, Jimmy Johnson, 7-time NASCAR champion, the one time he ran the Indianapolis 500, did not finish the race. Kyle Larson did. And it was delayed by 4 hours. Oh, yeah, and he was supposed to go to Charlotte afterwards as well. So impressive stuff. I hope we see him again next season, and I hope we see Kyle Busch as well next season. I know he's teased it. Richard Childress seemingly is on board with maybe making that happen. So getting 2 NASCAR drivers to do it next year, try the double next year, would be impressive. So, Rain, please stay away next year, please.
Yes.
We talk about the popularity of Kyle Larson, and granted, our daughter lives our lives. She's a 10-year-old. She's not a motorhead like Crash and her dad, but she likes motorsports. She follows motorsports. She's forced to from time to time, but she's a Kyle Larson fan, and the popularity of Kyle Larson. We were standing above Gasoline Alley on one of the bridges there, watching the race quite a bit of the time, and she kept following the number 17, right, Crasher?
Oh, without question.
It's number 17 for Kyle Larson in IndyCar. And what's that, man, when you're talking about where he missed the gears and spun on that restart, Dad, what happened to Kyle Larson? What happened? Because she's right there in front of the podium, or not the pylon. The pylon. She sees it go. Brrr. She sees the 17 fall. She goes, "What happened to Kyle Larson?" I'm just going, where is this coming from, man? She's scared to death being that close to the track. Go, where's Kyle Larson? And you know that Nielsen has the rating system. Once Kyle Larson, I'll be curious, Swabby, once Kyle Larson had that drive-through and fell out of contention, I'll be curious to see if the TVs went, click. Let's go watch freaking season 3 of The Masked Singer.
The one thing that I thought would be a problem for Larson is what I was saying all along, is that once everybody gets on the track, he doesn't know what the racecraft is. And he learned very fast, and he worked his way back up, and he was running, like I said, 8 to 11. And he had a problem getting into the pits once or twice, but yeah, he learned a lot. And I think that'll be valuable for him as his career goes forward, because he drives about anything with 4 wheels, probably shopping carts as well.
Now that I would pay to see.
If you've ever seen an IndyCar race live, you forget how fast and how quick these cars are. And I can't say I had empathy for Kyle Larson, but you kind of get inside his head, think, this guy's, like Stat just said, this guy's not run an IndyCar amongst, 32 other cars before. Yet he goes out there and kicks some ass. Going into the race, you think, gosh, let's just get back in one piece. Kyle Larson, let's don't have any issues. Don't ding it to turn 1 or coming out of 2. No, this guy kicks some freaking butt. The turbulence, the madness that is an IndyCar at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah, Will Power referred to it as, it is a simple race in that you can go wide open and you run with downforce. But when you're on the track with 32 other cars going 220 miles an hour plus, I don't care who you are, Kyle Larson or freaking Tom Dan Brady. It's like, okay, Tom, you know what? You're going to have 16 guys rushing you. Let's see you get through that.
Yeah, right.
It's kudos.
Yeah, the minute that your mental game is just even the slightest bit of askew, that's when the mistakes happen. And it's interesting that Will Power was talking to us about that in the interview that we did with him a couple days ago, because then that ended up being something that did happen with him today. Just the slightest bit of being off, boom, into the wall.
And so many winners talk about luck instead of not speed. And there was an instance where he made a mistake. He was unlucky, and they caught him. I don't know if he was going 90 in a 60 or 62 in a 60, but he made a mistake, and that cost him. bumped him out of the top 6 or 7 in the race, and that cost him. He did lead, I think, 4 laps before he went in for his last pit stop. But yeah, it was impressive what he did. And I think he impressed the announcers even more so than them just trying to sell IndyCar.
Another real quick anecdote was our daughter Henley. Graham Rahal, he could actually win this race. Where does this come from? Where does she pick this stuff up?
Where does this come from? Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you asking that question?
Oh man, I had fun hanging with a 10-year-old that's never been to the Indy 500. Austin Cindric finished 20th in the Coke 600. We talked to him before the 600, and we kick it off talking about his old man, Tim Cindric, the sergeant at arms for Joseph Newgarden. Austin Cindric, he joins us next. SpeedFreaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.